Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Into the Blue Zone, the podcast of North County, San Diego, and a plant-based production. On today's show, we have special guest and head chef of the Regal Seagull, Mr. John Swafford. Johnny, thanks so much for taking time out of your morning and joining the show.
Thanks for having me on the show. Another beautiful day in North County. Yeah, another day in paradise. And just another day talking with a really good buddy of mine.
Yeah, we're recording live from my studio in Leucadia, Encinitas, San Diego. And if you could give a live wave to the Instagram audience, hopefully we get some followers today. And today's show is going to be a little roundtable discussion talk with some focus on food, as you're the head chef of the Regal Seagull. And for those who aren't aware of what the Regal Seagull is, it's my favorite local sports bar, conveniently located right off the 101 in Leucadia, California. And they do a great job with all their foods, and probably the best part of the place is their awesome beer menu that rotates, and they have a really cool board that displays all the beers and some sports TVs and just really good vibe. They always got reggae music going on. So John, you're the head chef there, and you're my second chef to come on the show. My most recent podcast was with Liz Murphy, and she runs Santosha Nutrition, and she's a plant-based chef as well. So excited to chat, and excited for you to share with the world, because we could reach everyone.
Oh yeah. So what we do at the Regal, we got 25 beers rotating. You come in, get a different beer. Your number one is always going to be that style beer, like a West Coast IPA or something of that sort. But we do craft, handmade sausages. So we focus on, just doing simple, but doing it well.
Yeah. And I think the coolest part of the Regal is when you get your ticket, you get some celebrity name.
Oh yeah, pop culture references.
Yeah.
Fat Albert. It's always fun talking over the microphone and, using a reference from whatever pop culture reference you got on your ticket.
Yeah, so you get the ticket, and let's say, it says Sylvester Stallone, and one of the chefs yells the name out just like that.
Adrian! Or it's like, you use one of his movies or something.
Yeah, it's fun time.
Yeah, great time.
Good vibe.
Always a sausage fest at the Seagull.
Yeah. So we're looking to change that sausage fest at the Seagull to a better sausage fest, or a different type of fest. We all like good times up here in North County, San Diego. And let's just kind of dive right in. Yeah,
well, since COVID and all that, food sustainability and just even production issues nationwide, it's been hard to source products. Everyone's probably seen all the shipping containers off the coast of Los Angeles. Like, all the products are there. We can't get them. So just having a more viable option, especially as like a someone who's running a business, I need those products. I need that. So when me and you were speaking about sustainable eating and plant-based cooking, it kind of sparked an interest for me, because I'm having trouble right now getting my products. And if I can locally source things, or if I can get them from an accredited locally sourced provider, especially a healthier option or something that kind of makes people think differently in their diet, but they're in an environment where they're comfortable, they're in an environment where they're used to being in, like my restaurant. It's definitely something that I need to delve into deeper, and that's kind of why I like the relationship that me and you have, because you took my mindset out of my everyday. You took my mindset and kind of elevated it into something like, hey, you do simple, you do it well, but take simple, keep it simple, but change it a little.
Yeah, what do you specialize in at the Regal besides, I think you said sausages?
Yeah, sometimes I would do like cup specials where I'm elevating bar food. I'm doing an elevated burger. Like, I used to do the Beacons and Blue Burger. It had a bacon jam on it. It was kind of my spin-off of a Western bacon. I just take the craft that I've been in for 15 years now and elevate it.
Yeah. And what plant-based options do you have? Or vegan options?
Right now we have a vegan sausage and a black bean burger, but I've been experimenting. I got a quinoa burger that I've experimented with just since we've been speaking. I used to do a portobello mushroom burger with feta cheese, balsamic reduction, grilled peppers and onions.
And then we gotta add the Caesar salad, right?
Yeah, no, you said you have a great Caesar recipe. I need that recipe, or at least I need you to make it for me.
Yeah, shout out to my mom, Simone Heyman, master chef. She has an incredible Caesar salad recipe that we'll make and, see if it is good enough to get on the menu. I mean, I know it's good enough. So
yeah, no,
we just got to make it.
Everyone loves sauce. That's kind of like the basis of most people's meal. Like, you go to eat chicken wings, you probably put more ranch on the wing than you do chicken wing. So
it's all about the sauce.
Yeah, you get lost in the sauce.
It's all about the dips.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the message I tried to convey to meat eaters. Like, you don't really taste the vegan sausage or burger or anything if you get really good ketchup and onions and tomatoes or salsa or hummus.
Yeah.
Whatever sauce or dressing on your salad, it masks the flavor of the meat. Obviously, if you're just eating a steak plain, you're going to taste the flavor of the steak. Or if you're just eating tempeh or jackfruit plain, you're going to, be able to taste it. You get the sauces going.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about the sauce. And
everything is seasoned. Everything is seasoned. So you got a piece of meat that you're seasoning with a plant-based seasoning. You don't get a piece of broccoli and say, can you sprinkle some steak on it, like powdered steak? So everything is flavored with a plant-based seasoning. So that's kind of the base of where I want to touch on is, like you said, sauces, using ground nuts as the base of a sauce, just flavoring things with better ingredients.
Yeah.
Just to open the door for people who didn't realize that plant-based food could taste that good. Well, it's plant-based. That's what you're using. You're using paprika. You're using turmeric. You're using herbs like thyme and oregano. You're using rosemary. All the aromatics. That's where you're getting the flavors from. You don't just eat a steak for its entirety. You at least put some salt or pepper on it, and pepper is a plant-based seasoning.
Right. And John, let's kind of share a little bit with the listeners how we know each other.
Oh yeah, so Skylar comes in to my bar, and we know each other from just local interaction and just having a drink and having good times, having fun, and having a bite to eat.
And recently we kind of connected, like within the last month or 2 weeks, a couple times, and probably more so than the first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Came in, and it's been super special, building each other up and sharing all these ideas that we both have on how to make restaurants better, how to make our own bodies better, and just sharing all this information with the world.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you included me in your time. I really had some great moments with you. Just the last event that you held, great time. Sad that we couldn't go to Modern Times because they were closed on Mondays.
Shout out to Modern Times.
Yeah.
The local bar in downtown Encinitas. They do really good, specialty beers, heavy beers, and
whole vegan based menu.
The whole menu is vegan. Pretty special. I think it's the only bar with that style beer, high-end beer, their own beer.
Yeah, craft.
With a high-end vegan bar menu.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
non-commercialized, like they're doing craft beer.
Yeah. All about the sauce. I think that's a good title for the podcast.
Yeah. It's all about the sauce. Pretty girls love sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, what's your favorite sauces, like obscure sauces?
Obscure. I like a gremolata. Like it's like a mint chimichurri almost. It goes on lamb.
That's a good one. How about like a vegan tzatziki?
Bomb. Yeah, any Mediterranean, like I love Mediterranean food. That's probably my favorite genre of food. So yeah, that's definitely on the menu. Good eats.
You like baba ganoush? What a fun word to say.
I know, baba ganoush.
Some baba.
Yeah. Bomb.
Yeah, and then hummus. You know, I'll say my favorite life hack when it comes to plant-based eating is hummus
Oh yeah.
or bitchin' sauce.
Yeah, which I think is almonds.
And then, yep. And you just go and get like a ton of kale or lettuce. And without chopping it up, I don't wash my food.
Okay.
I just eat it dirty. Build the immune system.
Yeah, a little microbiome.
Take in some B12, exactly. I just rip off the kale and dip it right in the hummus and no prep, no cleanup. Feel great. I'm due for some kale. I haven't had some greens in a while.
You could always like thin it out. If you're not doing pure vegan, you could always thin it out with like some Greek yogurt. And that's your base for sauces now. Using nuts and things like that. It's definitely part of being in the blue zone. Like a lot of those the blue zone eating, they eat nuts on a daily basis.
Yeah, nuts are really good for you. I know. Brazil nuts are great. Walnuts are some of the better nuts. And back to the sauces. Couple girls that I used to work with at Beaming Juice Bar, Jasmine and Rebecca, create this nacho cheese and macaroni cheese sauce, and they sell it at the farmers market in Leucadia and at Just Peachy.
Oh.
And I think I mentioned it to you for like a cheesesteak or...
Is it made with walnuts?
So they do, I think, cashews.
Cashews, okay.
And some nutritional yeast and all that stuff. And I think, you know, you get the cheesesteak, and then a suggestion would be to add like a mushroom cheesesteak.
Okay.
So you got your burger, you got your veggie burger.
Take a portobello mushroom.
Or just chop up like a bunch of, you know, fine like meat. You know, you just chop it up until it's really fine. You get the onions and peppers going, and then you put some of this cheese whiz on it.
Yeah.
And now you have 3 alternatives.
Yeah.
And
that's a great idea. Like, you don't even have to put the steak in there. You could do it portobello mushroom. It's got a meatiness to it if you don't overcook it. It's got like a tact, you know, so it's got the feel of meat, definitely. That's a viable option. That's really amazing. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, we're going to get that going on the menu. That sounds great. And let's just share a little bit about who you are outside of your art in food. You said you've been cooking for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then what else did you do? Where did you grow up? And just share a little bit about yourself.
I grew up in East County, Spring Valley, California. Went to Monte Vista High School. Avid sports, running back, wrestler. Been skating since 8 years old. And since we're in Leucadia, you know, this is like the skate capital of the world now. There's so many great skaters that are coming out of this town and great skaters moving into this town. Like almost half the Olympic girls team are from Encinitas. I was just skating with Jagger Eaton like 2 weeks ago. Guy took bronze in the Olympics. So I feel like this town is the exact place where I'm supposed to be at, especially with my upbringing in sports and skateboarding. You know, I raised my daughter to the age of 14. She just recently moved to Arizona with her mom. But having the freedom now to explore my craft and be able to network with people and just talk about, you know, bettering who I am, I definitely don't want to take that lightly, you know, given that my daughter was my life for so long. And I want to make sure that she knows that her dad's achieving greatness.
Do you have one kid?
I have two daughters, but my other daughter lived with her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we split the kids, and, you know, it's kind of sad, but they're together now, and...
Yeah, they're good, they're healthy.
Oh, yeah. Healthy, thriving, you know, mom's crushing it, I'm crushing it, like, life is good.
Good work, bud.
Thanks, man.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, and smart little girl, love her to death, like, she's big into art, big into science, but also she's big into like holistics. She's big into like the energy of crystals. She's big into horoscopes. She's all like, "Dad, you're a Mars rising." I'm like, "I don't know what that means, but let's delve further. Like, explain to me," you know. And then she'll get into it, and you know, it might not be what I like, but it's also something that I'm not gonna crush her dreams of wanting to, you know, just expand whatever third eye or whatever she likes to, whatever's her gig, whatever she likes to do is all game for me.
It sounds like you're winning because she talks to you.
Yeah.
And she wants to share her thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have kids, and I heard, with daughters, they're a little different than sons as a father. And if she's just talking to you, that's a win.
Oh, I always told my daughter that you cry like a little boy. So she's like super tough. She's tougher. She thinks that boys cry and that girls are tough. And they are. Yeah. Like, every body has passed through a woman to enter this world. That's a tough lady right there. So, the world will eat you alive if you don't treat the world like it's combating you. Like you have to be tough against it. So that's kind of just the mentality I wanted my daughter to have.
What's your sign? I got this cool tapestry here.
I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio, and what's like, in 2 or 3 words, describe Scorpio?
Intense, driven, eccentric.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm a Taurus.
And how would you describe that?
I'd say if you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to start anything.
Yeah.
I will, get pretty intense and fiery.
Yeah.
But if something's stirred up in front of me. Do you think you got your toughness from your football and wrestling career?
Skateboarding also.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I've always been told, like, can you teach me how to skateboard? I'm like, well, can you teach yourself to get up when you just wrecked? If you can't teach yourself how to do that, then there's nothing I can teach you on this skateboard. Like, as a kid, I would throw myself down flight of 10 stairs. I'd do it 100 times. Never landed, get up the next morning like, I'm going to do it this time. It's like, they make it look super easy in skate videos, but that person has probably wrecked thousands of times.
And the toughness that you see when they do spill in competitions, they pop right back up because their nerves, anxiety, embarrassment, and they've practiced popping back up. They've fallen a million times. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Oh, there's an art to the fall.
They're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's share a little bit while we're on this track of kind of toughness, your first surfing experience, because Leucadia is like a skate town. Tony Hawk just bought out the Mexican restaurant literally 50 feet across the street from me. And I believe it's called Chicken Hawk.
Yeah.
So Tony Hawk's building a chicken and bar type restaurant, I guess, right across the street from my place, which I'm fired up. And then...
with a Michelin star chef.
Okay, so hopefully we get some vegan options there so I can frequent that place because I'm excited for it. And then Leucadia and Encinitas is a huge surf town, like exactly as you imagine it. A bunch of different beaches with surf breaks, and everyone seems to not work and go surfing and have 3, 4, 5 boards. Or one friend, Derek, you said, had how many boards?
Yeah, shout out to Derek, dude. Derek has like 100 surfboards.
Yeah, Derek the Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 surfboards, and he gave you a board, correct?
Yeah, correct. He gave me like a 5'8" fish, kind of wide, but...
And like, you're a running back. What's your build?
Pretty lean. Like, I'd probably say about 16% body fat, if that.
Like how big are you though for the 5'8"?
Oh, I'm 180 pounds, 185 pounds. Yeah. So the thing barely keeps me afloat.
You got 30 pounds on me, and I can't get on that. I'm 5'8".
Glorified drowning out there every time I go on that board.
Yeah, share your most recent, and I think first.
Yeah, not my
surf
first
experience.
Yeah, my first surf experience. I'm at D Street.
How long ago?
I would say 2 or 3 months ago. And I'm looking out in the ocean. I got my wetsuit on. I got the board that Derek gave me.
And what month is that? Where are we? Like August?
Yeah, I'd say around August.
Okay, so August 2021.
Yeah, there it is. Timeline.
Yeah.
I'm out there at D Street. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I see all these surfers out there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So this is where the spot is. Like, there's surfers out in the lineup. How am I going to do this? Like, I breathed in real deep because it looked very ominous. I start paddling out, I'm taking every wave on the head. I'm trying to duck dive. I'm trying to turtle or whatever. And the waves are killing me. Finally get out to the lineup, breathing heavy, have no idea what I'm doing. One of our regular customers at the Seagull paddles up to me and he's like, dude, what are you doing out here? Is this your first time surfing? And I was like, yeah, I just went in Rome. Do like the Romans, right? He's like, no, not today. It's like 8 foot and it's walled and you're getting crushed. But props to you for being out here. That was a foreign language. I had no idea what that meant. I was like, it's walled, 8 foot, you know. I'm just trying to surf, man. So I'm catching waves, getting tumbled. I get pinned to the bottom of the ocean on one wave, trying to stand up. Every time I stand up, I tilt to the side, get tumbled. After 4 times going out into the lineup, I was like, dude, I am done. I'm like physically exhausted. I'm spent. My body's starting to get cold because I'm not used. I got my wetsuit on, but still I'm not used to being out in the ocean like that. Granted, I'm deathly afraid of the ocean. I'm like, anything in there, that's their home. That's where they live. There's apex predators. And if I'm on the menu, it's not going to be a good day. So I was deathly afraid, but I went out for a week straight after that. Still not good, but loving it. Loving the like, I have a newfound respect for what those guys are doing out there because they're having fun and it's not an easy task.
Yeah, if you've never gone surfing, and I've been doing it, 5, 6, 7 years, getting better the last few years. I don't think I've ever been out in 8 foot swell. Not even close. Maybe 6 foot, 5 foot. 8 foot swell is huge.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
I didn't realize that the waves were that big. I knew they were like killing me, but I was like, oh my God, is this really what surfing is like? And they're like, no, dude, like you need to go back in like right now.
Yeah, it just speaks volumes as to your eccentric, intense nature. Like you described yourself as a Scorpio, and just put your mind to it and
give it a shot.
You're going to get knocked down and then you're going to pop right back up.
Yeah.
It's like the song Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Yeah.
You're never going to keep me down.
Never.
That's awesome. That toughness and grit is, I think, a little bit few and far between out west. At least from my like East Coast upbringing, I think there's a little less gritty toughness out west because it's just warm and you don't have to deal with the cold ever.
And in the kitchen, that gritty toughness is something you have to have. Like, it's hot back there. The job is physically demanding. You might cut yourself. You might burn yourself. That gritty toughness is something you have. And like you said, it's few and far between. Right now with how the labor market is and people not wanting to come in and perform the task that requires this gritty toughness you're talking about, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So like if you go to your local restaurant and wait times are long or something like that, just know that the chefs back there are doing their darnest to try to make it happen, especially when nobody wants to come in and work.
Yeah, that's a bummer to hear.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's carried through a lot of industries. Obviously, the food and beer industry is big, and
the shipping industry, that's
yeah,
where all the production,
parts,
farming,
all the parts and stuff you need, and the people to make the parts for cars or whatever goes through that manufacturing process. Everything's a little more delayed. I just bought another Murph e-bike, the Alpha Murph. I had a original Murph electric bike, and it was kind of not working so well, so the guys at Murph in San Clemente were nice enough to give me a full refund. And then, because I'm a loyal guy, my friend Josh Motter and I did a podcast on loyalty. I said, they're doing a second generation one. I'm sure they worked out the kinks. Let's give it another try. So because of the delayed manufacturing process, shipping and all that, I won't get it for another couple months, and that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to cruising back around on my Murph electric bike. Shout out to the guys at Murph. they're good dudes, and hopefully I don't get a lemon this time. I'm sure I'll get a really good one. I changed the color up and everything, so.
And I'm pretty sure
Different vibe.
with your loyalty, you know, they'll hook you up if it's a lemon, dude.
Yeah. So, do you listen to any other podcasts?
No, not really.
Cool.
I'm pretty much cooking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, that takes up most of my time. I'd say 90% of my time is going to be cooking, 10% is going to be skating or just trying to find some sort of recreation.
Nice. Yeah, I listened to Rich Roll and Adrian Grenay, the head on Entourage.
Okay.
You know, on the show Entourage?
No.
On HBO?
No.
Too busy raising 2 daughters back then.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyways, he's been in a lot of other movies, and Rich Roll is now one of the biggest vegan podcasters
Oh, man.
probably out there. And they were just talking about, you know, the world we live in, and Rich Roll said we live in a commercial-filled world. And when I was listening to that, I was like, that's one thing that I really try to avoid, following that path of being in the commercial world. And
Oh, we're looked at as consumers. We are a consumer.
I think I do a really good job of avoiding the commercial world because it's all BS. And you got to find systems. Life's
Okay.
about systems.
Oh, yeah.
And the systems in our food industry and the systems in my own personal life, you can control some of them and you can't control others.
Yeah.
And the commercial world we live in, for example, Spotify, you know, you buy Spotify, you get rid of commercials.
Yeah.
Or if you have free Pandora, you have commercials.
Yeah.
You know, you go TV, you can mute the commercials.
Yeah.
Or you can watch the commercials and listen to them. And, you know, on the radio, it's like there's commercials here. And on any internet search, all the advertisements and commercials you got to click through. Or spam emails, you know, unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Get rid of that commercial from your life. And energy management, finding a system that works for you and trying to not get sucked into that. Like, of course, podcasts have commercials and sponsorships. This one doesn't. We just go. And sponsorship free, unedited, commercial free.
Let's
This
go.
is not a commercial filled podcast.
No.
And we'll take a pause here and there for a shout out.
Yeah.
No commercials though.
No, not at all.
Yeah, life's too short to
Like-
be filled with commercials.
If you were to add up all the time you've spent listening and watching commercials
Ugh.
and then monetize it with how much money you make within that time, like, what do you think the number would be?
I don't want to think about
I
it.
know, astronomical.
It's a bad. Yeah, I mean, there's things that, you know, I've done that I could have done more productive things with, of course.
Yeah.
Commercials though, it's hard to avoid, and you got to find ways to avoid them, because when you're watching ESPN or really any sports for that matter, you are brainwashed into alcohol and unhealthy food.
Yeah.
And I think it's ironic because none of the athletes are putting anything that you see on that TV during those breaks into their own bodies.
Yeah.
And we need to get away from false marketing, misillusions or illusions, and like promote the things these athletes are doing. I mean, what do you do as an athlete? You're a high-end athlete. You played football, you skate, you surf 8-foot swell for your first time.
So what I do for like my workout routine, it'd be plyometrics, TRX, like a lot of just using my own body resistance, just being like self-strong. I don't really do a lot of weightlifting and things like that just because, you know, I'm not building muscle. I'm just trying to make my body function better with the muscle I have. So, you know, if you could do a handstand and walk with your hands, you're a strong person, because not very many people can walk on their hands in a handstand. If you could do pull-ups, you're a strong person, regardless of how many you do, because I know people that can't do one pull-up.
Pull-ups are hard.
Yeah. So
Can you walk on your hands?
Very for very short distance. I could
That's
do a
amazing.
handstand push-up. I could do probably 10 handstand push-ups right now if I'm up against a wall.
Yeah, that's super hard.
Yeah.
Like if you try to prop your feet up, if you're listening and afterwards you have a wall, go try to do one. It's hard.
Yeah. So, just having that strength that of you being able to manipulate your own body is the strength that I'm looking for. I'm not trying to bench 500 pounds. Like, I'm not trying to be able to lift up a truck. It just, in the kitchen, you really need that. You're always squatting down. You're always, lifting things that are heavy, 40-pound cases of chicken wings. And if you're doing it repetitively back and forth, it can cause wear and tear on your body. So, I'm just being strong, like self-strong. Maintaining, exactly. Like, I want to wake up in the morning and my back doesn't hurt.
My boss, Jed Stotzenberg, really hit it on the head. We were talking about growth within working out. And as you get older, your priorities change.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly what he said. It was along the lines like, you go to high school and go to college and you want to get big.
Yeah.
You want to get bigger.
Yeah, well.
Whatever you look in the mirror, you want to be a bigger person. We're kind of brainwashed into that, and that's just how we are as humans. Like, let's look a little bigger. Then you kind of grow up in your 20s and you're like, all right, I want to maybe lean out,
Yeah.
I want to get back to a lean stage.
Yeah, so I don't get dad bod or something.
Yeah, no dad bod, and you look presentable and you fit in all your clothes. You're not buying new clothes.
Yeah.
Because you can't fit and you just wasted money. And then after you get lean, now you want to get flexible.
Yeah.
You just want to be able to or maintain. You just want to maintain that physique. You don't need to get big. You like where you're at. You're comfortable with your own image. And you just want to be able to be flexible and, do things without tweaking yourself. And then, from there, as you get older, you're just trying to eliminate injuries and soreness.
Yeah.
One of the articles, so when I was studying plant-based nutrition, I really dove in, and one of the articles by, I think, Matthew Letterman, the number one effect when you stop eating meat is inflammation goes down. And I feel like inflammation, people need to know that is soreness. When you're sore, that's inflammation. And just through my experiences without eating meat for many years, I don't really get sore. Like, I worked out yesterday in the gym to an extent where I could feel a little soreness this morning, and I don't. Like, I worked out, injuries, and I think just something for people to try. Like, if you just stop eating meat for a second, or if you're sore, or if you have, inflamed knees, or you can't walk, you have gout, all these syndromes as you get older. Try, not eating meat for a month. Just a short period of time and see if that helps. You're trying to help your own body. This is just a personal endeavor towards better health, so you can get to that stage of just moving and being flexible.
Yeah.
So you can maintain. Yeah, I think that was interesting, and for me, it's just been really obvious that my physical performance has maintained and almost elevated. Surfing, running, cycling, pickleball, golf. I mean, I've broken my left wrist, I've broken my left leg, my tibia and fibula.
Oh, man.
I tore my ACL and meniscus on my left leg, and I've rolled my ankles a ton. My ankles crack and everything. And fortunately, for over the last 9-10 years, and really the last 4 or 5 years, I've been injury free.
Okay.
So it's been a good run of just maintaining.
And you have such a great connection with how you feel about your diet and the food base that you're using. A lot of people lost that connection. They eat food because it tastes good. They don't sit there and reflect on, hey, dude, what happened after I ate this? How did it affect me? You eat a steak, you eat ribs, you get the itis, is what they call it. You get tired and you go into almost like a hibernation.
Thanksgiving's coming up, and what is it called when you eat turkey? I forget the term, and you get tired.
The itis.
The itis?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So, I might give it a shot. I might go out there, I start eating more plant-based or completely plant-based and actually reflect on how I feel afterwards. am I lethargic, or do I have more energy? You know, some people write in diaries, some people do science experiments. You know, have a notebook and say, you know, write 3 things about how you felt when you're going to bed after you connected with the meal you just ate.
Yeah, I kept a food blog when I was trying to get down to as low body fat percentage as possible. So I was really pushing it. And, you know, you got to hold yourself accountable. So when you start writing things down, then you're able to keep track in your head as to like how you felt and then the progress you're making. So I ended up getting down to 4.5% body fat.
Man.
Just as a goal, like, you know, avoiding oil, one of the top fats that people don't really think about when you eat out.
Yeah.
You guys cook in the kitchen with a lot more oil.
A lot of oil.
Than when you cook at home, and avoiding oil, and then, you know, from there, just limiting fried foods, which just heavy oil and bread. And yeah, the food blog. I suggest a food blog.
Oh, yeah.
Just everything you eat. And we were talking the other day at our first and final event. So what first and final is, it's a community-based event surrounded around a plant-based discussion and workshop that I lead, and then my friend Marcelo typically leads a meditation at the end. In the beginning, we go for a beautiful walk around Neptune, maybe do a set of stairs and check out the ocean, and hopefully as we gather more and more people, we could develop a run group and a walk group. So at the end of our second first and final event, first and final resembles the first and final Friday of each month. So it's 2 times a month the event's going to happen. Our next event is going to be December 3rd. This past Friday, we had our second event, and we all kind of got together and was talking about...
Great time.
Yeah, at the Temple of Joy with Casey and Anka and Lauren. We were talking about being more mindful.
Oh, yeah.
And we live in this fast-paced world that a lot of people just are multitasking.
Yeah, or just consuming. Like they lost they have a disconnection with who they are because they're just going through a routine that is monotonous.
Yeah, robotic.
Yeah, very much so.
We're turning into robots a little bit. And then, like, instead of multitasking and being so great at getting so many things done every single day all the time, slow it down. And I love the term slow the funk down.
Yeah.
In Leucadia. Like,
yeah.
Leucadia is notorious for being this, like, drive slow, like your kids live here, or try slow. That's another slogan I like, try slow. Yeah. It's always a good reminder because we're both really fast-paced.
Yeah, especially the career I have, you know, where the expectation of perfection and quickness is always there.
Top priority.
Yeah, top priority.
And I coach sports where speed is everything. You want to be fast, you want to be efficient. How many repetitions of quality can you get into practice? You know, that's a good practice as opposed to like, all right, we're just going to breathe.
Yeah.
You know, like, go slow today. Like, no, we never promote that.
No.
Not at my practice and not at your work.
Yeah, slow, you would be, you might think that slow is inefficient. No, slow is actually, you might be thinking about optimizing efficiency at that period of time.
Mindful eating, 80% rule. That's a tough one for me. Eat until you're 80% full.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
So it takes like 10, 15, 20 minutes in that range for your mind to sync up with your stomach to like indicate, hey, I'm full. So when you're 80% full, if you just give it some time, you'll be completely satiated.
Okay, hell yeah.
So I struggle with that because I go, I'm 80% full. Let me get a little more full.
Yeah, I need that 20%, like...
I want to be stuffed.
Dessert.
Yeah, so I need to get better at just, listening. All right, I eat slow, so when you eat slower, obviously your brain and stomach are connecting even more efficiently because you're not just wolfing food down. I'm fortunate where I can take my time eating food. I do not have kids I have to tend to. I don't have a job where I'm always on call with emails and stuff like that. And people need to create those systems where that's a priority.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, what's up with the Man U shirt you got on?
Just my favorite soccer team. Mr. Patty's favorite soccer team. Shout out to Patty.
Yeah, Patty.
Yeah, that's we're a Man U bar, so. Yeah, some heated games go on.
Okay. Yeah, my roommate is a Man U fan, so we're all Man U fans.
I wish they were playing better ball, but the world's not made up of perfect situations.
I went to a Manchester United game, actually two of them, during the inaugural season or the opening event, actually the very first event at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Manchester United with Rio Ferdinand and Ruud van Nistelrooy were playing Real Madrid with Cafu
Dude.
and Kaká.
That's a team.
Yeah, that was a great matchup. And then
Was Pepe on that team?
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he might have been on that.
And then a few weeks later, me and my mom drove up to see Man U play Juventus with Del Piero.
Oh man.
And that was pretty cool at the Meadowlands, which is no longer there. Pretty wild to think about that.
Yeah, I've never been to a Man U game. I need to really get out to one.
Gotta get you over to England.
Yeah, no, for sure.
In the thick of it. Yeah, Pele came out. So Pele is maybe one of the greatest
Soccer players of all time.
Came out and like
Did he look old?
waved. Yeah, he waved to the fans and everyone was going crazy. The vibe in New York City was a lot more fun and upbeat than in Philly. Just I think New York and the soccer. It was cool. We gotta get you to a Man U game.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's do a GoFundMe page to get John out of the Regal Seagull for a little bit. Sorry, Patty.
Yeah, no, vacation is much needed for sure.
Yeah, even though we live in a vacation spot.
I know. We live in paradise.
We do. We're so lucky. All right, so let's kind of talk about a little bit, what do you think a key to life is? So I've been asking all my interviews or podcast episodes.
Key to life. Wow. That's a deep one. That's got like some existential...
Yeah, and think about it for a sec. I'll just kind of share some that I've thought of, and waking up to the sun without an alarm, making the bed. For me, those are really important because it's like I just start the day on a good note, and from there it's just I get a little robotic.
Yeah.
Like, all right, what's next, and just kind of get off to a great start.
For me, take time to do what you want to do when you want to do it. It's your time. It's not anyone else's. Like, there should be no expectation that I'm going to be in a place doing a task that you want me to do when you want me to do it. Unless, of course I'm responsible with, my job and my time there. But a lot of people just expect your time to be filled with what they want you to do. It's like, hey man, I planned this. Are you going to attend? And then they get upset when you don't attend. It's like, no, well, I was doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I'm sorry if you were expecting me to be somewhere or do something for you. I apologize. Let's schedule it somehow better. Or you could even be like, I don't want to do that ever at all.
That's totally fine. Being honest and transparent. I think that's a little, not to cut you off, that's a little lacking out west here.
Yeah, 100%, man.
It's like ghosting and just not getting back to people.
Yeah.
Has become super normal as opposed to saying, I'm not interested or I can't make it.
Yeah. Or like, in the restaurant industry especially, since I am so local to where my shop is, people don't want to come in at their scheduled time because they know that I'll be there doing the job that they're supposed to be there doing. It's like, hey man, no, I don't want to do that. What if I just walked out right now? That's not who I am. That's not my character. But it's just so many people are under this impression that their time is more important than yours. Or, I don't know, just they want you to be where they want you to be with your time.
Do you feel like you're doing your key to life, which is doing what you want to do when you want to do it? Is that what you said, kind of?
The thing is I want to be at my bar. I want to be at my restaurant. So I love being there. I love it.
That's awesome.
And I want that to reflect on all the other people that work there, that they love it there too. Like, hey man, this is where I want to be in life. I want to be around you guys. But I want you guys to want to be here too. I want you guys to want to be around you guys. And it doesn't seem like that's what's reciprocating. Like during the first and finals event, when we had those Post-it notes and it said, write down something that's key to you, and I said, love reciprocates. You know, and I still stick by that, but how long does it take to reciprocate? You know, it's like, hey man, I love you guys. I genuinely do. Like, love me back. Not in any, like, not in any relationship way or anything like that. Or like, even just love me back in a way that is less invasive. Like you don't have to show, like, monetary wise. You don't have to buy me gifts. You don't have to, just freaking be my friend. Like,
respect
your
time too.
Respect
as
my
boss,
time
as the head chef.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, certain places you get fired real quick.
Oh, the restaurant industry right now is so lacking in a labor base that it's ridiculous. You know, you get an interview guy come in, he comes in with a resume, takes his time out of the day to make the resume, takes the time out of the day to come into our establishment and give it to me, call him up for an interview, talk to him, seems super stoked to work, doesn't show up for the first day. I'm like, what?
On to the next one.
Yeah, but it's like, why didn't you optimize your time? Like, why did you waste everybody's time right now?
Yeah. You know the movie Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Remember the quote, attitude reflects leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Julius.
Yeah, Julius.
The black defensive end, was best friends with Gary Bertier.
Yeah.
The other
left side, strong side.
The other white defensive end.
Yeah, and they kind of clashed at first.
Clashed in the beginning.
Well, they were from two different upbringings.
And they were leaders. They were both the alphas.
Yeah.
Of the group. That's a great movie. And he says attitude reflects leadership. And I see it within my own profession, and even from like a higher, like the president and the government, you know, we're not having the leadership maybe up high.
Yeah. In
the government tree. And let's drop back down to your workforce. Like, your leadership is this loving, like, work hard, like, get after it.
Yeah.
And you're not quite experiencing
the reciprocation.
Yeah, the following there, and it's
not
hard.
Just that.
It's hard to get a team too that everyone buys in. Like, I coach with different coaches.
Yeah.
On a consistent basis, and there's not like one A team, like the A team. Like, that's a really great team. I call them the A squad.
Yeah.
Like, there's different A squads.
Oh yeah.
There's also like a B and a C.
There has to be like a rotation of A squad tier players.
Yeah, like, it doesn't mean they're that person. They're just that type of person.
Yeah.
They're just hardworking and enthusiastic.
And I'm not going to say any of my coworkers aren't hardworking. Those guys come in, they work super hard. You know, there's not a single person there that I don't want to be there. Everyone who works there are great workers. But it's just, there's some times where I feel, you know, it's like, hey man, like, let's reflect. For real. Like, let's really look inward and not project outward. You know what I mean?
I just saw something about blame.
Yeah.
And blame's like the worst thing that was ever created. Like,
yeah.
Instead of pointing the finger at you, let's look inward, point the finger at myself. What could I do better?
Yeah. And that's kind of what I try to do too, is like, hey man, if I mess up, I mess up. You know, I crap the bed and I gotta clean it up. I don't be like, oh, whoa, where did this come from? Why do I have to clean this up? I think you did it. Mm-hmm. You know, and like you said, with a West Coast mentality that might be a little softer, it's like everyone's looking to project their emotions or their deficiencies on somebody else. And love starts with yourself, and then it reciprocates outward. You don't, it's not the other way around. You don't make someone love you and then you start to love yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, I try to love myself first, and then I hope the love reciprocates.
Totally. Just keep being the best version of yourself. You know, I read this book.
Yeah.
Crucial Conversations. It sounds a little corny in my mind. It's good though. It's kind of like about when you get this tension in the workplace or at home or with any relationship that feels important and significant. Maybe I'll give you the book, Crucial Conversations. I took some notes.
Okay.
And it's just helpful, like if you get in a rut where you're kind of dealing with some tension and you need to like figure out a way to approach the conversation, maybe not being yourself, you or anyone's self, try to be a little different in the approach and method to how to hash it out and grow as a team. So yeah, that was good. It's being sensitive and understanding. You never know what people are going through from day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like standing up for yourself and
setting boundaries.
Set boundaries. Enough's enough. Like, okay, we need to talk about this without shouting at each other.
Exactly. And the kitchen is a heated environment. Like, you know, it's busy. Things aren't perfect. You know, there might be a product that we're out of because of production things, you know, and it's just having the understanding that the product's out and it's not the end of the world, you know. And the expectation of perfection really does weigh high on us. So I could see the stress levels and the stress factors being a reason why we're having dysfunction sometimes. But the dysfunction is only what you make it. It's like, hey, this is zen to me. Like all this chaos or whatever you feel around in the kitchen, that's my zen. My zen is being in a chaotic world, knowing that at the end of the night, this is going to be over and I killed it. I crushed it. I crushed the chaos every day. That's where I find the love in myself as a chef, is crushing the chaos.
Do you think you handle that chaos better than most people?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you're the head chef.
Yeah, but I also think those guys handle the chaos well too. You know, it's like they handle it a little bit different than I do. I don't think they find zen in it.
They gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you have to embrace it. It's like, hey, dude, this is our career. Let's love this. You know, we didn't die. Did it kill you? No.
If someone complains, go back, make a joke about that person to me.
Yeah.
And move on.
And like, look with your own eyes. Look at the people that are in here. There are so many people in here eating the food that you're making because they love who you are. They genuinely like to be here and eat the food that we're making. Like, just seeing that through the chaos is the bigger picture. You're like, there's a responsibility to the community that loves you. So come in and like love them back. And that's what I preach. Like, if you won't serve it to your grandma, don't serve it to the customer. It's like, that's the responsibility we have, to love the community that loves us, even through the chaos. You know, like, you don't know what chaos those people, we could be their sanctuary. They had a rough day at work and they're like, I just want that Philly cheesesteak from Alex. Or I just want those tater tots from Shelly. Or, you know, I just even want to talk to those guys about something today that we have equal commonalities. You know, it's just, it is a chaotic world in the kitchen, but the chaos, there's a method to the madness. Like, there's a reason why we come in every day. We come in every day because the people love us. Well, at least that's why I go to work every day. That's why I work so hard. That's the image, or the I'm trying to convey a message and portray it in words.
There's a lot of people that go to the Regal as an escape from their everyday or after work or to do work.
Yeah.
Not just to get drunk and watch football.
No.
Like productive people. And that is their maybe best part of the day.
Yeah.
So feeling that energy and knowing that you're a main reason of it, it's got to be meaningful.
Yeah. 100%. Like, that's definitely the reason I cook food. To see someone with a smile on their face.
I'm thinking from like Del Mar all the way up to Carlsbad. I've heard like a lot of good things, and I live right across the street, so I walk 2 minutes. There's only like 1 or 2 other sports bars.
Yeah.
You know, along the coast of North County.
Yeah, there's not very many.
And, you know, one is Home and Away, that's D Street, that we don't need to compare and contrast. You're just like, you're there. And the vibe is great, and keep making it great, John.
Thank you.
It's my local spot.
Yeah. And all these things that I'm noticing maybe that's not how those guys feel. Maybe they do feel the same feeling that I feel of like love, and they love what they're doing. I never sat down and asked them, but
Crucial conversation.
yeah, crucial conversation.
Time to get into
Time
the nitty-gritty.
time to get into the nitty. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, again, let's give a little wave to our listeners. Thank you so much. I've been doing the podcast, and I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 people listen, maybe 30 or 40 people listen. If we could just reach and impact just one person, to me, that's a win, because I'm loving this whole podcast and the whole production and just self-fulfillment, passion project, and just trying to impact one person. And you just keep talking about love and loving yourself. I'm trying to love myself more all the time, and it's really easy to fall off that wagon.
Yeah, especially when you see the chaos. Everything is almost like a product of destruction. You have to destroy something to create the bigger picture. You mine for elements and you mine for minerals. You're destroying something, but in the end there's a beautiful creation. And that's what I see through the chaos of the kitchen is what we create on the plate, and the emotions and the connections we create with the community that we're servicing. Like,
absolutely.
Most of those people are my best friends, and slowly are becoming better friends with the locals, like myself and you.
I'm looking for that connection within the community as well. That's why I'm doing a lot of what I'm doing, and I'm stoked we have built this relationship, and looking forward to all the events and whatever it is, workouts, food we're going to share, because you're a great guy, and it's awesome having you on the show.
Yeah, maybe we'll schedule things where I come by and we cook some stuff, and yeah.
Also, just share a little bit about what you do at the skate park, because you're just always giving back. I think you said once a week.
Yeah, this Monday I had to do a certification for the restaurant, so I wasn't able to do it this Monday, but I've been going to the skate park repeatedly on Mondays and grilling up for the kids that are there. Around 3:00 they all start getting off of school, and I was grilling one day there, and a kid comes up, he's like, "Hey, is there anything on that grill for me?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, most definitely, dude. You hungry?" Like, that's what I'm like. I love to feed people. I love to see this kid was stoked. He said he comes from like a bad upbringing, and he doesn't like to be at home. So I was like, "Oh, dude, if I could be your minor sanctuary just by giving you a little sliver of whatever I had on the grill for him." So now I started bringing more food, and I think I served like 20 burgers, just anybody who wanted them. That's when Jagger was there. So it's like,
dude, that's so nice of you.
It's fulfilling for me now, because I never thought that. I was like, hey man, I never realized that these kids in Encinitas, some of them come from homes that are a little rougher. Just you see the beauty, but there's the chaos there too. There's a balance between everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to find the balance in my life through the chaos of a kitchen and the chaos of COVID regulations that made the kitchen a harder place to work. Chaos through production issues that made prices skyrocket, making it a harder place to work. So through that chaos and through every achievement, I see the beauty of what's happening and what I'm creating, and just I have a next level that I need to achieve. This isn't the last of me. Like, there is more of me to come, and it's
exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's awesome that you're helping kids just kind of get away from wherever their struggles are, and probably such a fun atmosphere at the skate park.
Yeah, and like to not even realize it, like that kid is a cool kid. I see him all the time now. Mm-hmm. And just to, I don't know, it's not even giving back to me. It's the camaraderie of people that have a common...
It's the community.
Yeah.
Whether they're kids or adults. I work with kids all the time. Like, it's a beautiful part of working with kids, their purity and some innocence there still.
And they love skateboarding. We have like a common interest.
Totally.
So to go out, hang out with my buddies who have a common interest, like, that's why I don't even look at it as like a charity or a donation. It's like, I'm just grilling with my friends.
Maybe we could throw like a vegan option out there or
Yeah.
or educate the kids because they're, let's be honest, they're more impressionable than adults.
Yeah.
And you know, just making awareness, just educating
Yeah.
about, hey, this is like this, and here's some vegetables on the grill, or you know, this and that. And
No, I do like fried corn and stuff, or not fried,
that's
but roasted corn. What else did I do? I did grilled green onions, like scallions, like the big giant ones that like you get at like Mexican barbecues. So
cool.
yeah, it's good eats.
That's super nice of you, man. Just a couple more things here, and then we'll maybe kind of wrap this all up as you gotta head to work. I joined the Kind Humans movement, and it's been a great reminder to myself to be more kind to myself and upon others. And if you're looking to shop, anyone listening, for your friends or family, I'm going to put a description code and affiliate link in the description. And the affiliate link will take you to the Kind Humans website, and from there you're going to use the discount code Skylar to save, I think, 10% off. So they have some really bizarre stuff on Kind Humans, and it's all the proceeds go to different charities, which is what I really like. So not just the stickers and, you know, being an ambassador of something. It's like really good reminder for myself to be more kind. And, you know, kindness is always cool. I like that saying. And yeah, feel free to check it out. I'm going to put the description or the link in the description, and save a little money on some gifts or trinkets or whatever it is that people like to buy for their loved ones. Okay, John, last thing. What do you want to see change for that one person? Because you're doing a great job, you know, and I always tell my kids, the kids that I coach, you cannot give that extra 10%. You know the saying, give 110%. If you're giving 100% in life, then you can like give that extra 10%. And where that extra 10% goes is to another person. You're helping that person out. In my mind, you're giving 100% all the time. Where do you want to see that extra 10% go to the one listener we're trying to impact?
That extra 10% needs to go to self-image and mental health. Like, if someone hears this, your self-image and your mental health is definitely a priority, and something that I've noticed that people don't have. A lot of people don't have this high regard for themselves or high regard for their own mental health, which is what everyone should be working on. That's what wellness is about. So that extra 10%, I hope people know that they're worth it, that they're loved, that they have friends, that through the chaos of their life, take the blinders off and see who you are. Like, your value to the people that love you, your value to your coworkers, your value to everybody in the community. People love you and you don't even know it.
Well said. Awesome, brother. Well, again, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode on Into the Blue Zone. John, thanks for joining the show. Do you have any last parting words or things you want to kind of...
Dude, just stay classy, man.
Love it. Love it. Thank you guys for listening. It's been a wonderful morning. Time to keep on going, right? We
Yeah,
got a whole
keep
day
on
ahead
keeping
of
on.
us. Yeah, buddy. All right, this has been Into the Blue Zone, a plant-based production. All right, that's a wrap. Deal, short little guy.
That was nice. That was fun.
Yeah, a couple.
That was cool.
Dude, can you send me a picture of yourself?
For sure.
Like just your top picture real quick? A little late to the punch here.
All I'll send you like an image that I created.
Yeah, just send one good pic as like a profile cover. That one's money.
Yay or nay?
Yeah, dude. Love it. Probably should have done this beforehand.
What the heck? Where's messages?
Kind of ran out of some thoughts there. That was good.
Oh, we were
inspirational.
Yeah, that was cool.
Hour of goodness.
Because, it just showed a genuine side of who we are.
Exactly.